Hello everybody. Today we're going to be having a look at questions 50 and 51 from the numeracy practice test. It's going to be questions about grade point average. So let's have a look through it. So the grade point average is the average of all grades achieved throughout a course. Must be familiar to most university students. And a 4-point GPA scale assigns grade values as follows. High distinction is worth 4, distinction worth only 3, credit is worth only 2, and a pass is worth 1. So therefore you're getting more points the better you do at a subject. Each unit in a course is assigned a number of points which are used to weight the grade value for the unit, because the weighted grade value is the grade that you actually obtained multiplied by the points for the unit. So if you had to do a final year project, for example, that might be worth 10 points, whilst a normal subject might only be worth 5. Therefore, it's going to be of greater importance. It's going to make a greater weighted grade value if you got a distinction for a final year project as opposed to a distinction for a normal subject. Now, we'll get an average of all this. We'll call it a grade point average. So it's the total of weighted grade values divided by the total of points. So we should probably write that down. Total weighted graded values. Total of weighted grade values. Divided by total of points. And this gets you your GPA, your grade point average. Now, the calculations for units 1 and 2, they're assigned 6 and 12 points respectively, and they're shown below. So that's obviously very important information. So unit 1 is worth 6 points. 6 points. Whilst unit 2 is worth 12 points. So this is showing that unit 2 is worth twice as much as unit 1. Now let's have a look at what the questions are. For the example given, what is the GPA if units 1 and 2 are assigned 9 points each rather than 6 and 12? So let's change them to 9 points each for our example. So they are worth 9 and 9, unit 1 and 2. So if the person got a distinction, which is a grade value of 3, so they got a distinction for unit 1, that's their distinction, 3 points, and the subject is now worth 9, that means we need to do 3 times 9. Equals 27. This is exactly the same formula that it has up here. Weighted grade value equals grade value times by points. So the subject is worth 9 points. They've mentioned that in the question. It's worth 9 points. And here is my 9. They have got a distinction, as we can see here. Grade distinction for unit 1, and that is worth 3 points for a distinction, which is said here, and it is also mentioned earlier. So we just needed to times those two numbers together to get the weighted grade value. So the weighted grade value is 27 for the first one. I'll just write WGA for weighted grade value. Now we need to do the same for unit 2. Now for unit 2, it said grade value or grade credit, and for credit you get 2 points. So remember that this one over here was our distinction, which was worth 3 points. Now I'm going to do the credit, which is worth 2. And remember it said that both unit 1 and unit 2 are worth 9 points each. So that means we'll be multiplying by 9. and 2 times 9 equals 18. So again, that is the weighted grade average for Unit 2. But remember that the total of weighted grade values needs to be divided by the total of points to get us our grade point average. So we need to get our total of weighted grade values, which are these two numbers here, 27 plus 18. You can put that into your calculator and you'll get the answer 45. And then we need to divide by the total number of points. And the points is these numbers in this column, 9 and 9. Remember it said that they are assigned 9 points each rather than the 6 and 12. It initially said 6 and 12, but we changed it to 9 and 9. So the total number of points, 9 plus 9, equals 18. So your GPA is the total weighted of grade values, 45, divided by 18, which your calculator will give you the answer to that. I'll just put it quickly on my calculator to get the answer. It will be 2 and a little bit. 45 divided by 18, 2.5 is our answer for that first question. I might circle that for greater significance. Now for question 51, it says, for the example given, what is the GPA if the grade for Unit 1 is unchanged? So that means that the grade that we got for Unit 1 is still a distinction, still going to get 3 as our grade value. But for Unit 2, it changes to a high distinction instead of a credit. So that's the difference we need to make. We'll make these changes now in blue. So instead of it being 3 times 9 is 27, we now need to be going back to our original numbers, which is 6 and 12, as it's got there. Remember this? 6 and 12 over here. Because remember, only the first question was making mention that we're going to make them 9 each. Now we're going back to the original one. So originally they were 6 and 12, 6 and 12. And it is saying that the first one, Unit 1, that's what this first row up here is, Unit 1. We're saying that this is now, or is still the same, a distinction, 3 times 6, and that gets us 18. Whilst Unit 2 is now been changed to a high distinction, which is worth 4, which is confirmed at the top. High distinction is worth 4. So it's not going to be 2 times 12, because 2 was a credit. It's going to be 4 times 12, and 4 times 12 is 48. Now we're going to follow that same formula that we've got at the top. The total of weighted grade values divided by the total of points. The total number of points is in that column there, 6 plus 12, so that is 18. I'll just do the whole formula, GPA equals, and then the total of weighted grade values is going to be the addition of those two numbers. Just like over here, it was the addition of those two numbers. 18 plus 48, 66. 66 divided by 18, I'll put that in my calculator. 66 divided by 18 equals 3.6 recurring, which we do like that with a little symbol. And what that means is it's 3.6666666, and then at the end of it, the calculator just rounds that up to 7. And if we look at the answer that they asked for, They're asking to round your answer to one decimal place. So we can't have it as 3.6 recurring or 3.6 blah, blah, blah. We have to round it up or down. 6 is obviously high enough that we round up. So that number that I've got there will actually round up to 3.7, which I'll put in red. And I'll circle it. So that is the answer for question 51. If you have any more queries, just please ask and I'll try to explain things slightly different or give further examples with this same sort of thing. I hope this has been helpful.